Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sales Chatter, the only podcast that's out here where we're trying to help 10,000 reps hit a million GP. I'm your co-host, Ryan Mohammed. With me is my amazing friend, Bodacious Cowboy, Jeff Dickinson, the president and CEO of RGTX Logistics Solutions. How you doing this morning, brother?
Good, my man. It is Thursday. We're almost there. Friday is only one day away. So, with that said, let's get into today's episode. Let's do it.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
New one for the winner of coming here first, beating Daman and Lisa. Good morning to you, Kat. Love seeing your posts. I saw up this morning about her doing a little morning prayer before they go into battle. So you got to aim the troops, right? So good morning to Daman. Daman, you're in second place today, but you're always first in our hearts. Good morning to DJ. We got a packed house. DJ, always happy to see you. You're gonna love today's episode. It's gonna be awesome. Nerf, always a pleasure, my man. On time today. So happy to see you. Love your TikToks. I love everything that you're doing. Just keep it up and keep growing, man. People are loving it. So Jeff, today's discussion, we weren't gonna have an episode today. We're gonna hit a replay because we're working on season 2 and we got some pretty cool things that we want to kind of hit off for the bank for next week.
Yep.
But last night I saw a speech from a young man, and it really got me thinking. It was one of those speeches that it was like, wow, like I was like, this was probably the best thing I saw, and I saw it on YouTube. And basically, he went through the journey of that his whole life. He's done what everybody else has told him what to do. He went to school for what to do, even with his girlfriend. Like everything in his life, he never had control over. He said that he's had social anxiety, so he's that type of person, introverted, and that's perfectly fine. But he's that person when he goes to a club, he's hiding in the corner with a beer, not able to actually have those conversations with people. But he decided to take control of his life, Jeff. And just to hear the passion that he has from where he is right now and where he wants to go is just tremendous. So, Jeff, I'll get started with you, my friend.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? And let's kind of like snowball that from there.
Yeah, there is a time in your life that a spark goes off, a light bulb lights up, and it's like it's an awakening. People, when you're young and you're still wet behind the ears, so to speaking, you're always getting those directives from other people because that's what they do, and you don't know what to do at that time, so you listen to advice and all this other stuff that comes with it when you first get into whatever industry that you're going into. And hopefully over that time, you start developing your own path in which you want to lead your career, whatever it may be. It could be, like a doctor, a lawyer, a logistician, even a garbage man. Who knows, right? The thing is that there's a point in life where you got to pull in those reins, get control of your own life, and lead it the way that you want to, not lead it by others. Does that make any sense?
100%. And just the steps to kind of go there, right? Because I was speaking with another good friend, and he truly asked me, what do you really want in life? You really got to dive deep. It's not that, hey, what do you really want to do? And then you kind of have that answer. You really got to sit down and kind of look within, and you got to look at your surroundings as well. I know DJ could attest to that as well. Like, you got to know what's in your heart and what you truly want to do. Because Jeff, tell me about this. How many people get in, not necessarily our industry, but they get into something because of the money. And money, it never works out. For yourself, I love your journey because you were on the other side of the chair. You were logistics manager for many years. You could have went to a brokerage, got a fat salary, and start moving up the ranks there. But you decided to bet on yourself. Going to RGTX Logistics Solutions.
Yep.
Can you talk to a little bit about that transition, your mindset before you even went into RGTX Logistics Solutions when you left?
Yeah, hey, I'm honest. My integrity is first and foremost. Did I have problems in my career? Absolutely. Did I fail? Yep. Did I get fired? Yeah, sure. But, that was kind of brought on by me because I was very set in my ways because of what I did prior and after. Kind of dictated what I wanted to do because it worked. And I had a testament to my success in other companies that I worked at where I saved a tremendous amount of money and then wanted to go up. And I thought I was going to the right company and it wasn't the right company, but I didn't change my ways. And there's the door. See you later, and that's okay, because you have to believe in yourself and your abilities as an individual, that you are the only one that you report to, nobody else. That's why I say you are your own worst enemy. And if you believe in yourself and you see those successes and you feel it, not necessarily in the bank, but just that feeling inside, something that you have that passion, that drive, that love for. And that's what led me to my my business, because it was time, if that makes any sense. It was time to pull the trigger. I was a procrastinator. This was something I drew up 7-8 years ago and never brought it to fruition. And then it was like, okay, it's time to tap your talent, your experience, your background. And it was tough. I mean, the story about the $9,000 I made in the first year because I did everything wrong, but that's okay, man. You continually learn from your mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them and you don't repeat history, so to speaking. So, yeah, I mean, that's what led me to where I am, and it's evolving, and it's getting better every day, every week, every year, and it's growing outrageous. I mean, this year, the beginning of January, 334.15% increase. Must be doing something right, but I don't know what's right. I'm just doing what I feel is right for me, not for others.
Yeah. And you're following your intuition. And I think that's one thing that we kind of want to talk about is following your gut feeling. You're not letting any barriers kind of come in, like break that down. You've
Right.
had some tremendous growth this year. That's a testament for the work that you do, and trusting your gut feeling. And I'm a true believer in the universe. You put out good vibes, you put out positive vibes, like, okay, cool, I'm going to do the work. This is going to happen. Those doors are just going to open for you. I feel like
Absolutely.
as human beings, we get so stuck on the doors are closed, but we don't realize that we have like 20 doors right in front of us, or we have the wrong key to open those doors and kind of go forward, right? And when you're saying that, hey, we've had growth and things like that, I love that when you say, hey, you love being the chasee. That is kind of like what you've earned. The universe has said, Jeff, you've worked hard. You know exactly what you're doing. We're going to reward you with this. We're going to make sure that you are happy because you keep putting out good vibes. You keep giving back. You keep doing the show. You do other shows as well. Anybody who's wanting to reach out to you, those little
Yeah.
things that we don't think about because it's like automatic. Because there's people who reach out to me and they want advice, and my first thing is that I start thinking about imposter syndrome. Like, what have I done? What has Ryan Muhammad done
Right.
to not be somebody who can talk on something like this? But I gotta switch that mindset, and that's something I'm working on. Is that get that negativity out of there, get that what if, because if I
Absolutely.
start thinking like that, the universe is gonna start making me like that. It's gonna humble me really quick. So
It
I just think of
closes in
positive and just thank
fast.
them for the opportunities. So
Yeah, it closes it
there we go.
fast. When you have negativity like that, it takes away from your creativity, and your successes, because you always think of the wrong things. When that negativity sets into you, you need to change that mindset and switch to that positivity. Because if you think about negativity all the time, well, you're not going to grow. You're not going to be successful. But if you change your mindset to positivity and get rid of, shrink your inner circle, start getting more focused on what you need to do, and remove those obstacles, things start falling into place. You mentioned about chaser and chasee. Just imagine when you don't know when a call is going to come in and someone says, I want to talk to you about business. It's a different type of feeling, because you don't have that pressure. You don't have that pressure of making those calls to try to gain business, but you're going about and you have your clients and everything. The phone rings, you pick it up. Hi, I'm so and so. Somebody recommended that I talk to you. That's the best feeling in the world. I mean, everybody that makes those calls, I understand it, especially for the new people that are out there. And it's that feeling when you first get that client on board, your first one, you're like, yeah, baby, this is the best thing in the world. But just think what happens to your feelings when somebody reaches out to you and wants to work with you instead of the pressure of trying to get somebody to work with you. It's a whole different feeling. That's
All
why
different.
I'd rather be the MC than the chaser.
Yeah, exactly. And it works for different people as well. And there's something that I'm
Oh,
stealing from DJ. I'm stealing from DJ today. But there was a quote that I've really, I saw it years ago and I saw it again. For some reason, the universe wanted me to see this last night. And it's from Robin Williams, late Robin Williams. And it says, I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I'll ever have to be.
absolutely.
And I think about I just took that in, and being kind of like that servant, and that's what our conversations are about. Logistics is logistics. The way that we're having our conversation right now leads you up for anything. Hey, you want to be a car salesman? Foundations that we've learned. You can take that into there. And for me, it's that serving aspect. That aha moment. You and I you just mentioned that first customer that you close, that feeling that comes with it. That's why I wanted to do that episode of your first commission check. Because I remember that feeling. I didn't care about the money on there. I cared about the feeling that it did. The things that I'm able to do. And this is the industry that you can do whatever you want. You
Yeah,
can really you really choose whatever you really want to do. And look at DJ. DJ was on this show. It's opened up so many other doors outside of the industry for
yeah,
him. So he's putting out good vibes. Look at Daman. Like, Daman is training amazing agents. They're paying it forward so that the narration, the next set of recruits, they can pay that forward too as well. So I love this topic. I love exactly what we're talking about right now.
yeah.
Jeff, like you talked about switching negativity into positivity. I want to get your thoughts on, because do you find that you can do it automatically based on your history and like everything your experience, or is there certain times where you're like, hey, maybe I need to do a little work, or I need to do something?
Now, I think the biggest part of the work that I had to do was to remove the negativity and bring more positivity in my life. And, that was an ongoing thing. But, what Nerf just said in the comment that, if he can make one person laugh every day, then he's doing something really good or something to that effect, right? That's what I've been doing, man, every day. I'm not lying when I say this. I get up, I take a shower, I smile, I laugh every single day. I try to be that beacon of positivity to shine down to other people, to let them know that, not just in the logistics industry, but just life in general, that, if you get that mindset, it shines on other people and people you're like a piece of steel and they're like magnet. If you have negativity, you aren't going to draw people in, but if you have that positivity, people want a piece of that. They want to share that kind of stuff. They want that feeling, and that's what I try to do every day. I try to make people laugh. I mean, I get you to laugh every day, right? So,
When
I
your
mean,
internet cuts off. No, I'm just
I
joking.
know, right? So, I mean, that's the whole thing. When you're in logistics, man, don't make your life like worse than what it already is. We already know that logistics is a hard industry to work in. So change it up, man. Make fun of it, laugh every day, I mean, lean on other people's shoulders, your competitors, your friends, business partners, people who you don't know that reach out to you, help them, support them. That's what they're looking for, and it makes their life so much easier in the industry. It really does. It's something that really hasn't been done over the last decades. Everybody was, don't you go do this and all this other kind of stuff, and there was no room for it. There really wasn't, because everybody was getting blindsided and sidetracked and everything, because that's what the logistics industry is. You get into it, you live that every day of the week, 24/7, 365, my friends. And if you can't handle that, just imagine, oh, that today sucked. And every day you said that, oh, today sucked. Oh, this guy, oh, oh my God, this trailer broke there. Oh my God. You're not going to make it, man. You will not make it. It beats the hell out of you. Why do you think I still have hair on my head? Because I don't give a shit. I'm being serious. I give a shit in a very good way, but not the way that I used to in the past. And it helps me to move forward at a faster speed.
Have fast food. And for this comment on Nerf, we got to get Dean on. So I'll remember this for Dean for next week, as Kat kind of brings on. And thank you so much, Kat, for coming on this morning with us. You try to be professional, but you try and show, yeah, you show your true colors, and people want to, right? And that's what's truly important. And I think one of the big things, especially for anybody who's like changing that mindset from like negative to positive, I believe that it's not a switch, right? It's something that it's like a muscle, right? You keep on working on it. You go to the gym, you want abs, you keep working on it every day, and it's your surroundings. I know you're not going to be familiar with Mr. Beast, Jeff, but Mr. Beast is a YouTube channel, and he's actually this ranking person. He's actually his business is valued at $10 billion. Like he is a kid who just made YouTube videos, and he's gone up. And one of the things that he said was important to his success was that when he first started, he surrounded himself with people who were content creators as well. People going through that same struggle of going there. So I always kind of say, like, don't go alone, have some people around you. And one of the biggest things I've said, find a role model, but not a ruler.
Hey,
Not somebody who's going to tell you, okay, do this, do this, do this. Okay, what are your thoughts? And having that loving conversation, because you don't want to project their, let's say, success on you. You don't want both, because your success is your own success. Whatever, like we always talk, like you're Chasey, spray and pray. We talk about that all the time. Personalized videos,
yeah,
personalized emails, all this stuff. There's different ways to skin the cat, and I'm stealing that from you. But there's so many different ways to be quote unquote successful in this industry. So with everybody, I think you find the people around you. One thing that's really helped for me, Jeff, is talking to new people every day outside of me being in my office at home. Whether I make it a point to leave my house, go for a walk. Even this morning, I walked my dogs at 5:30 this morning, and somebody was doing a jog, and we just said good morning. Something as simple as that
that's it.
started my day pretty well for there. So I think it's awesome to kind of continuously do things that you don't care about. Don't worry about being embarrassed about anything. Don't worry about anything that's kind of not out. Don't think about it's not going to work out, because what if you think about what if it does work out? What happens to your life?
Bingo. The thing is that, we have this show and stuff like that. We're not trying to dictate and say, oh, you must do this. This is all about thought provoking ideas, options, alternatives, something that, the shoe may fit. It may, but, your shoe doesn't fit all, and it's all ideas, we want to spark a thought. That's all we want to do. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, that sucks. I would never do that. There are so many different options out there, and that's what you try to do. You try to gain ideas and try to create your own path based on your own beliefs, and then maybe an idea that somebody happened to throw out there and it just stuck. It's something that you're like, that's a great idea. I'm going to try that. And that's what it's all about, helping each other to succeed.
100%. And I love that what you said that, because that's what I was going to make is, hey, you figure out what your success is. You do the work, especially if you're starting a new business or you're starting a new side hustle. This is what the conversation is relevant to. And then once you kind of see a little bit of success, you explore, you figure out what works, and then you kind of look at scaling and doing different things. But you don't get there. I like I always kind of say, I'm not really a big fan of books, but books are great cheat codes for people who use them correctly. Right, the audiobooks are great books for people who use them correctly as well. As Jeff, I think, is disconnected here, as usual. Uh, you gotta pick your path in the right internet carrier out there in New Jersey. But Jeff, just coming back to it. Is there a time where you kind of like just in your personal professional life, and you kind of had that shoulder or that person to go to? I know we're all going to say our partners, but is there somebody who has like an unbiased, they have an unbiased dog in the race, essentially, that gave you advice, and you're like, okay, cool, let's go with this.
I would say Kevin, Mike, and Nick. Who are they? My ex-bosses. Believe it or not, I would actually say that, because that's why I am who I am, because they were empathetic, highly knowledgeable. They weren't the micromanagers. They were the creators. And when I say the creators, they mentored, they coached, they helped you to get to that next level in your position, or a position that you never thought you could get to, but you got there because of their help, kind of deal. So they were the type of people that I leaned on, and it's paid forward. So the open door policy, if you're working and one of your employees walk through the door, you drop everything and you pay attention and listen, clearly to what they have to say. That's the way that I work. So it's those positive things that help to promote successes in a business for your own personal life. There's things that they said that helped me with my personal life as well, because it just all made sense. It all funneled down and fell into place. You talk about the work and life balance. That was all part of it. That empathetic side of the business, where it was like, I don't care what the hell you need to be in this seat at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you need to get there. They were never like that. They were never like that. And that's what made you want to go there and work harder than you ever did before. So, I'm just very thankful for those guys out there, for sure.
We get our life experiences because, like, we're not. I feel like in our lives right now, Jeff, we're not the lifestyle where, hey, we go to college, we go to university, and then we get a job right out of there, and we work there for like 40 years. It's just different. I know my path is different. I know different paths are like contractor roles and different things like, because just to get life experiences. I always back to storytelling, but I want to get to that. But for me, when I was like looking at my life and my career, and even still, it's still a daily thing, because I know I obviously want to do logistics for the rest of my life, but there's like different doors. It's like, we do a pretty good job here. It's like, what can we take? I
Right.
love the animal rescue stuff that I do, and what doors are going to open there. But it's not going to open. There's not going to be a door unless we kind of like materialize it in our mind, and then God kind of puts it in front of us to be like, okay, well, you said you wanted this. Are you going to work for it? Are you going to sacrifice for it? What are you going to do to get this and make this happen and make it successful? So I just really think that when we kind of go on our journeys, whether it be starting a new business, because I know you're big on, hey, if you're really good at what you do, why don't you go out on your own, right? Why don't you start something up on your own and come over there?
Absolutely. And then when you think about 24 hours of the day and you're in logistics, well, you're gonna work a minimum of 12. If you can get 7 hours of sleep, you're at 19, and now you have 5 hours of sleep. The majority of life is working. I mean, when you think about that, and the time that you spend with your family is limited, especially in the beginning of your careers. You're going to spend more time in the work environment than you will in the home environment. And then you have to take care of your well-being and your health. So you're going to try to get a good night's sleep so you can have that energy level and be able to do what you need to do the next day. So work life has a huge bearing on your life, no matter which way you look at it. So you want that powerful, positive reinforcement on a daily basis. And that's why when you go and you interview with companies, you want to interview them as much as they want to interview you, because you're going to spend the majority of your life in that arena, no matter which way you look at it. So that's why that support is so necessary for you to be successful and to keep on moving down that path, whatever it might be.
I love that you talk about relationships, because there's the universe again, the universe are giving me signs like just like that, just like by that cue. So I was reading an article yesterday, and it was explaining, Jeff, the difference between liking something and loving something. So you look at a flower. If you like a flower, pluck it, right? You're gonna pluck it, you're gonna keep it, and that's gonna be a flower. It'll eventually die, and that's it. But the opposition of that is that if you love that flower, or you love something, you let it grow, you'll nurture it. You'll put water every day, you'll change the soil, you do all these things to do that for your relationship. And I focus this on relationships, whether it be like your family and friends, or like your partner and things like that. You're talking about work-life balance. Maximize the time that you have with your family, if that's what your life is set up to be, right?
Yeah.
Because if you were to ask people, hey, and even in the audience here, what's the number one activity that you do with your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend? They're gonna say they watch TV. I would say 8 out of 10 people are gonna say, like, that's not connecting. That is not understanding. It's like, what did you learn today? How was your day? What did you learn today? Sorry, I already said that. What you learned, asking those questions and understanding that connection rather than us being on this all the time, watching TV, Netflix, and things like that, and make it more impactful. Because I truly believe when we connect as people, we understand what people's whys are. Whys, not the why that people say right away. It's the one that they got to dig in deep and they understand what's kind of going on in their lives. And then they can be like, okay, well, if Ryan likes to go watch football, I don't need to force myself to like go and watch football. Like for us to do different things on our own and then understand that team, because we're a team together, right? My wife and I, we're a team. We're a team together. She's going to be there for my success, her success, and that is so important. Jeff, can you speak on, because I know that you guys recently just hit your wedding anniversary. Give me some tips. What
So,
has worked out for your marriage business to grow it up? Because I know your wife got you into the. We thank her about that every day.
yes, yeah, every day, and it's funny because I listened to what you said, and let's go back to that flower analogy, right? I'm always looking at results and solutions, and one of the major things that you missed on your analogy with that flower is planting the right seed. You can't have the flower unless you plant the right seed that's going to
I'll,
develop it to that.
I'll correct you on that, because no, if I'm gonna go get a plant from the store, I'm not plant. I've never planted a tree, right? So there's that difference. So I'm talking about in terms of
Flower,
like we're gonna go see something.
right? But to get
Yeah,
that
we don't plant flowers. Yeah, we don't plant flowers. We buy flowers.
right, but I'm saying, but if you want a perpetual flower that's annual, that will grow all the time, you want to plant that right seed so it grows and then you nurture it. It's just like life, right? You want to plant that
Yeah,
positivity seed that will carry you through your life and the way that you conduct business,
mhm,
your family, your friends, whatever it might be, associates, because that's the beginning of everything, planting and watering that seed so it can bloom to what you want it to be. If you don't take care of it, it's going to fail, it will die, right? And that's the same thing in business and in family. You need to water it every day and make sure that it grows. And now getting back to the relationships and stuff like that. I mean, I've been with my wife for 43 years, and she got me started back into this industry because there was a job posting. We didn't have the things with Indeed and all this stuff. We got it out of a paper, and I had a roofing business, and I sold it. And are you
good
there?
to. Yeah, I'm. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was you that this time.
Yeah, okay, all right. See, we got the old switcheroo
Yeah,
happening here, but yeah,
that, that,
continue on, brother.
yeah. And so she started this whole career for me. It's not something that I wanted, but I fell into it and I loved it. And the funniest thing about it is, Jeff, I know the reason why you've been married and with your wife for so many years, because you never saw her. In logistics, you spend so much time on the road away from your family, and then what you try to do is respect your spouse, spend that time when you can, when you're not working, and it's limited. When you look at the whole, the whole perspective of everything, you're very limited in that time. So, you know, I, I'm out of the probably saw my wife out of the 43 years. If we were going to go every single day, probably 10 years out of 43 that I probably see my wife on the clock, if you want to put it that way. I mean, that's how much time logistics takes out of your life. And I'm thankful for it, though. You know,
Yeah, and
thank,
that's the thing, right? That those are the journeys that you've had. Like those are the stories you're able to kind of tell, and that's I look at that, right? I listen to these things, and I use that a lesson that I don't want that to be the way that I kind of live my life, right? Because we've all kind of said you design your life in logistics, not working like those 12-hour days anymore. It's as you put in the work, you kind of go from
I
there.
mean, I
But
don't either. I don't either.
yeah,
That's the beauty about, like I said, the things that you do for your own business or how you want to conduct your life, you set it up, you know,
yeah,
to where you want it to be and what you can deal with. You know, my business is just going through the roof, and it's going to continue to do that. But I'm
mhm,
working smarter and I'm working less in order to do that, and I can still cover a tremendous amount of business in less time. because I've been able to figure that out over the years, where other people are just struggling and pulling their hair out and trying to make things work for them. I mean, I understand that, but there will be a day and a time that you're going to find that way to streamline what you do operationally and be more effective at what you do. So it gives you that extra time that you need to spend with your family, but it doesn't come in the beginning. It's all trial by error and learning. And that's why I say the biggest part of logistics is learning something new every single day, and then finding out how can I do it better than yesterday, and where do I need to be tomorrow, and do it in less time. It takes a long time to do that.
Okay, I'll let you leave with that. As Steve is kind of going here, we're coming back into like relationships and things like that, like having that check-in, and it's really important. Like for me, I listen to everybody, and I try to take different things from everybody. So like as you're kind of talking about here, working smarter and like having these things like your relationship and everything like that is going to thrive even more, because I know like you guys went to, I think like you guys went to the casino and stuff like that last weekend.
Yeah.
You took time, and I know you have a vacation coming up. I believe in April it is. So it's like having that time to enjoy your successes, right? Like your business could be doing so great. Like I could have like the best business in the world, but it's like, what are you doing with that business? What are you doing to give back? First of all, what are you doing in terms to enjoy that, right? Because if you're just work, 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 it's like, okay, well, yeah, my kid's gonna have it once I'm gone and things like that. But did you enjoy your life with all the successes that and all the wealth that you've accumulated, right? Because like as you're saying, Jeff, like like your business keeps growing after growing, so that obviously means the wealth is the bank is getting a little heavy. So if I need to borrow a loan, I'll be calling Mr. Dickinson over there, but he's just cowboy.
I don't know about that.
But that's the one thing for me is it's the life balance, and I love how this conversation took different spider legs for that. And it's like we look at relationships, we look at starting something on your own and having that positivity and that mindset to keep on going, and then you just figure out what you want to do. And I love Damon's his comment here, because he says the beauty of logistics is that you can control the logistics of your own life too, and that's the best thing. That is truly the best thing in logistics, and I think sales in general, because I know Jeff, if you and I were to go into like SaaS, if we went to go sell like a software or something like that, we would be pretty good with like the stuff that the things that we've learned. We'd have to learn every single day, just like you said. You learn something brand new every single day. So I love logistics. It's awesome. It's given me so much, and all of us here in the audience, I know that it's given them as well. Even no matter what stage you're at in your life, Jeff.
What stage it is, the worst part of logistics is coming into it. It really is. When you're just coming into the logistics industry, you probably want to get out as fast as you got in, because it's just you get so overwhelmed with knowledge that are being forced into you like a shotgun blast, every single day. And there's so much that you can retain, and it gets frustrating. It does. But I'm telling you, stick with it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It may be tough right now. Stick to your guns, continue to move forward. Hopefully you report to the right leaders, and the right leaders have the right training programs, and that you're learning something every day. If you don't have that, if your gut tells you you don't have the sources, the resources to get you to where you need to be, move, get out, talk to your peers, and find that connection where you can grow and you can establish a career that will help you, your family, for the rest of your life. I mean, it takes time to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. No matter what you do, it will not.
Okay, so with that being said, I will call it a day for our amazing episode today. So we want to thank everybody for coming out this morning. A little impromptu live session, but I know a lot of you guys got value in this. So with that being said, we're trying a new thing here. We got a new link thing from Restream over here. So you can subscribe to our channel, like, share it with anybody. Just basically try to build this up, try to build up all the value that we bring to you guys. So we'll be hitting the replay at 12 and 3 p.m. Eastern time, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I want to thank our corporate sponsor, Daman, from Centurion Trucking. He is looking for agents across North America, an amazing company that puts people over profits. They're paying up to 60% GP. Definitely reach out to Daman or reach out to one of us, and we can put you in contact with Daman. His team is impeccable. It's just one of the best I've kind of seen. So with that being said, Bodacious Cowboy, what do you got for us?
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Tomorrow is another favorite day of the week here on Sales Chatter. It is Fun Day Friday. Topics galore. I don't have any idea what they're going to be. That's what makes it so great. So tune in, and next week, empowerment of women in logistics. It is going to blow your mind. Tune in, check us out. And with that said, Bodacious Cowboy out.
Take care, everybody.